What is up, tube users? I'm the Stereotypical Gamer, and welcome back to another fantastically fun games for under $15. Today we are taking a look at a game that I just picked up recently, but I've been having a ton of fun playing, and that is Diatomics. This game just has such a great feel to it. The movement feels really smooth, and the amount of parkour and stuff that you can do and the parkour levels in the game are really fun. It is kind of janky to get used to some of the movement at first, but once you get the hang of it, it feels super smooth. The combat all around is really fun and exciting, and just all the level designs is it's super fun. It kind of makes you feel like John Wick going into all these different levels, and the level designs are really unique and fun too, and just the amount of different game modes and different ways to approach each level is really cool. This game has a really interesting feel to it. The best way I could describe it is it feels like you're playing super hot at full speed. Basically, the entire premise of Super Hot is that time moves as you move. So you're playing in a slowed down speed and kind of just dodging bullets and stuff like that. And in this game, you're not doing that at all. It's very fast paced, but the movement and just the amount of ways that you can attack each enemy and just combine things together to try and get rid of an enemy from afar really makes it feel like you're just playing a fast-paced game at a slowed down rate, if that makes any sense. And I think a lot of that is because of the movement in this game. Some of the parkour tricks that you can do take a little bit to get used to because they do feel kind of janky at first, but once you get used to it and understand how it works, it is a lot of fun, and it does feel like you're just playing at a slower pace than everyone else. And I love that each level just adds something more, whether it's like a new weapon variety that enemies will have, or just new enemies in general to fight. There's just a bunch of new and unique things that each level brings that makes you want to keep playing to just discover all these new abilities and weapons. And I love the simplicity of the progression system in this game. Basically, how it works is as you level up, you'll unlock new abilities that you can add to your arsenal. You can only carry a certain amount, and over time you can add more to your arsenal. And at first they don't really do much. It's like take 10% less damage while you're holding a melee weapon and stuff like that. And there's some offensive ones in there too, but as you progress you can level them up, and it really kind of dictates your playstyle once you level up these, because they do become really useful once they get leveled up. I've been really enjoying the difficulty scaling in this game. It starts out fairly easy. I think the first couple levels up to the first boss fight are just kind of a cakewalk to go through, but then after that, enemies start adding new weapons to their arsenal, and you really have to kind of change your approach on how you attack different enemies and stuff like that. And so it really becomes a challenge later on, even at a normal difficulty, and even on the harder difficulties, it is an extreme challenge, and I really enjoy that. And I love all of the different modes this game has. You have your like basic kind of campaign leveling up, which I'm doing here. You have an endless mode, which really drives home how fun the gameplay is, because you can play that endlessly. I think I just played for a complete hour just on one map going through endless waves of enemies, and it was just so much fun. And then they also have parkour maps, which are great too, because the movement system in this game is janky at first, and I will get into that in a little bit, but overall I think once you understand how all of the different movement mechanics work, it does feel really smooth, and it feels like you can just glide across these levels with ease. But this game isn't perfect, so let's go over some of the bad aspects of this game. While I do love the general movement system of this game, of like kind of building up to a full speed and not just being at a full sprint when you press shift, the wall riding and grapple mechanics that you get later on do feel a little bit janky, and I feel like there could be a better way of tutorializing those mechanics, because they don't really give you, there's like a little tip prompt for the first time that you use those mechanics, but other than that they don't really give you good options in the level to kind of explore how to use those different mechanics. And I don't think the game ever teaches you about the health system and how to recover health in this game. You just kind of learn by playing it, and I'm still not 100% sure how it works, I'm pretty sure just using melee combat, whether it's just punching or using melee weapons, recover health if you're attacking enemies, but using like guns or throwing different weapons at enemies doesn't recover health. But I'm still not 100% sure that is the case. And while I do like the talent system and the different abilities that you can kind of unlock and use and dictate your playstyle, I feel like there are some that are just kind of better than others, and you kind of need to have some in order to be successful in later missions that are more difficult because of how the health mechanic works. I'm almost certain that it is through just melee combat that you can recover health. I don't think there's any other way. And so you really kind of are more dictated towards having a melee heavy kind of combat style and not using different like throwables or guns and stuff in the levels later on. But other than that, I really do find this game extremely fun to play. I think the movement and combat systems in this game are kind of unique and really fun to just go in and play for just an extended period of time. While there isn't a whole lot of variety to the soundtrack in this game, I really do enjoy it. I think it does a really good job of staying on theme with how the gameplay is, and is just a treat to listen to as you're slaying out enemies. And the different unlocks that you get after each level, it feels like it does have that just one more level kind of feel where you just keep playing and playing because of all these new systems that the game adds that make it fresh and exciting for each new level. And I wish that the game had some sort of cinematic replay system, because the amount of like tricks and stuff that you can do in each level can really make it feel cinematic, and just to have like different views and different perspectives of the run that you had would be really fun. There is a replay button after you complete the level, but it's just to replay the level in general. So I do wish that they had something like that, and maybe that's something they can add in the future. And I like that the spawn locations when replaying a level are different, and the different enemies that you'll face. You'll have like the same basic enemies that you've been facing each level and stuff like that, but where they spawn and the amount of different enemies that you'll have, like compared like melee to ranged kind of enemies, will be different each time you play through a level and replay it. And I really like that, because compared to Super Hot, it's always the same enemies coming out of the same spawn locations. So to have that little bit of variety makes each level even more replayable. And I love the easiness of the weapon pickup system in this game, especially later on when you get the grapple hook and you're able to get weapons from afar. It really is just super smooth. Of just when you have a bunch of enemies coming at you, you can melee one down, grab his weapon, melee another guy with that weapon until it breaks, and then grab another weapon off the ground. Everything just flows so smoothly with the combat systems in this game. And the price point for this game is really good, especially for the amount of replayability this game has. I did get it on sale for I think like $2 or $3, which is 100% worth it and an absolute steal at that price. But for $10, I think this game is still a phenomenal game with a ton of replayability. And another great thing about this game is the kind of seamless transition of replaying a level. You know, like it does take some attempts to get a level down just to get a feel for where the enemies are going to spawn. And especially boss fights, just kind of understanding the mechanics of the boss will take a couple of attempts. But just how quickly you can get back into that next run is just like the snap of a finger. And I just love the feel of epic moments that you can create in this game, and it's a big reason why I would love a replay system for this game, just for cinematic shots and doing like crazy stunts. Like right here, I just totally thought I was gonna die, but then I remembered I had a grapple hook and I'm able to grapple myself back onto the map. It just, these kind of things are just so much fun, and it really makes each level really exciting to see what you can pull off. And while most of the levels are pretty basic, and just kind of enemies spawning and just having to kill a certain amount of enemies, the boss fights really do feel unique. Each one is completely different in how it plays and just how you're supposed to approach it. There's like one where you don't even have to fight anything, you're just trying to parkour your way around the level and stuff like that. So it's really fun and unique, and I wish there was more boss fights, honestly, because they are some of my favorite fights that I've played through in this game. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment any other fantastically fun games for under $15 you may know of, and I'll definitely check them out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.